Well, howdy do, partner. Welcome back to another Birdie Bash. We've got the hat, we've got the drive, but do we have the birdies? Well, that's something only you can find out as we set our lowest mulligan count we've ever had. We're not even diving into the tens. Welcome to Joe Tucker Park. But before we dive in, we gotta ask the most important question of the day. How you doing, Tucker? You having a good one? Here we are, Joe Tucker Park. This is a shorter course. We've filmed here before, but I really love this track. I think it has some really fun holes. It has some interesting holes, and it's got some holes that are really gonna push us to the brink. One thing that I'm immediately realizing though in this series is that I haven't shaved my head in quite some time, so we have like a decent amount of hair. Makes the summer cowboy hat hot. You know what I'm saying? It's a 9-hole course, 9-hole track. I think a lot of disc golfers look down on 9-hole tracks because it is just not necessarily like the most exciting stuff in the world. We're setting the mulligan count at 7, which means we have 2 holes we just have to get first try. Every other hole we can only mess up once. And when we get to, I think there are 4 problem holes on the course that are like, definitely not guaranteed birdies. Problem holes that we're gonna have to like fight for are gonna be hole 4, hole 6, hole 7, and hole 8. If we can walk into 6, 7, 8, having only burned maybe 1 mulligan, I'm gonna feel incredible. I think 6 is probably the easiest out of all of them. I would say 4 is probably next. And then I'm gonna go 7 just because it's the longest option. And then 8 is by far the hardest. I'm anticipating using at least probably 2 on hole 8. If we have to take an 8th mulligan every 5 after that, so 8, 13, 18, things like that, a disc goes straight out of my bag in the giveaway. You're gonna see here, hole 1 comes in at 190 feet. It's just right there. Gotta throw it straight. Grown precious child. A little bit of a headwind, so I anticipate this sort of standing up on me. Threw it a little short, but that's fine. I mean, it was dead on line. I would have wanted to give an ace run here, but the nice thing here is it's just I like a good opening hole that has some drama to it, you know? Like you could mess it up, but also throw it 200 feet straight and grab a birdie. That's hilarious. As we're walking up, I mean, I always think that this hill is like further away than it is, but if you just bounce off the hill, that's what we're trying to do today. We had 2 holes that we can't, so we're like guaranteed. This was one that I wanted to make sure that we got. Hole 2 sits down yonder, 230 feet. Also hole 2, home to one of my favorite shots that I've ever thrown on camera, that the files got corrupted and got deleted. We are just hanging out over this road, fading back in. I'm gonna go ringer top zone. I don't know that I love zinger because it makes me think of, isn't that like a Little Debbie snack cake? If it is, Saga, you can go ahead and put it on screen because I think it's that like, it looks like a Twinkie, but it has like the layer of frosting on the top. That needs to hold straight and sit. Okay, got a little flutter skip down there, but we had the power right and just a little too inside. I probably, in my mind, I didn't want to like grip lock it, even though the thing about the zone and that premium plastic for the zinger top is that it's gonna get some ground action, so could have just skipped around. And what else is fine is the sponsor of today's video, Goodr. I have loved my Goodr sunglasses. I'm grateful for Goodr for partnering with us in 2025. These have been shades that, you know, I'm not gonna say that I was like the biggest sunglasses guy before. Most of the time when I went to buy sunglasses, I always went and bought the cheapest pair possible so that I didn't have any feelings of like remorse if something bad happened to them. Because I, like many folks, can just get some sunglasses destroyed. So I always avoided nice, high quality sunglasses because the price tag was always a big push away for me. And that's when Goodr came in with some fantastic sunglass options in just a bajillion styles. That's right, bajillion. We're using real science words today. And what made me really happy about working with Goodr is that seeing these high quality sunglass options, I would have thought like, man, it's gonna be super expensive, so I can't get too attached to them. And I certainly don't want, you know, like loved ones in my life getting too attached to them because then we're all just buying these pricey sunglasses that are gonna be tough whenever we lose them. Well, Mr. YouTube man, you silly, silly guy, because Goodrs begin at just $25. Hold up, Rodeo Robbie. You're telling me that it's only $25? That's right, Mr. YouTube man. These styles begin at $25, which makes them a fantastic purchase. And if they get demolished, it's certainly not the end of your rodeo. So if you're looking for some incredible options that you can try out, make sure you head over to goodr.com. That's Goodr.com. And you have a link down in the description below, as well as using code Robbie at checkout to save yourself a little moolah, save yourself a few strokes on the course. Thank you so much for Goodr to sponsoring today's video. Now, let's go ahead and bang a putt and keep this mojo going, shall we? Bang. All right, coming in, hole 3, 235 feet. You just end up throwing it like way shorter than you think you're going to. And it is a little uphill, but like not that much uphill. So we're just gonna put some on it and put it on a little bit of hyzer because we don't want it to turn over into the mess over on the right, but we're trying to go for aces. And so I'm gonna go with something that's definitely flippier, but just put it on some hyzer because that can be my like power jam angle, and know that it's okay if it fades out left because there is space over there. I definitely started it too far right, but I knew that was my miss, was I was gonna put it on a ton of hyzer and it stood up really straight. If it would have faded at all and like leaned into pig status, I think it would have been money and I had a chance to go in, but I think it's like less than 10 feet away from the basket. Probably should have like pulled out a mini marker, but yeah, told you. If you mentally prepare for a longer putt, like I was pretty confident this one was close. I didn't want to walk in being like, oh, it's here, when in reality, like it could have slid a little and been further back, had a more difficult putt. If you're walking up expecting a tap in, even if it's still a very makeable putt, that mental adjustment you have to do right there on the spot can derail a lot of less confident putters. Because if you're not that confident of a putter, you're probably counting your lucky stars every time you don't have to putt. But what happens when the sheriff comes to get you and you don't have that putt lined up? Because if we're trying to shoot as hot as we have to today, you better giddy up, partner. So I'm not gonna be like a snob that comes out here and thinks that this is a bad hole, because I think that this is one of the more challenging holes. And this is the first of the 4 holes on the course that we were like, hey, we're gonna have to try. 2 unfortunate parts about this hole that you guys can't see. One, the tee pad is actually like legitimately slanted upwards like this, so you are physically running uphill to throw the shot. And there is an actual gap into the fairway, and then there looks like there's this gap through the woods. I think for you to hit that gap through the woods, it's kind of a cheeky gap. Like once you actually get in there, you have to be moving right, and there are trees that block it inside that gap. So I think that this right gap is more of like a sucker gap. I'm actually gonna go range here. I'm gonna go heck yeah range, pull it. I'm gonna try to throw it straight and pull it down that gap, and then just hope, because once you get inside, smooth sailing. I think we got a chance to throw that in. We just gotta get out and around. Maybe I needed to go higher. Since I wasn't worried about the like rollaway potential, I think I needed to go higher and cut in. This was definitely a hole that I was like, this and hole 8 were the 2 that I think I was most worried about. We're just gonna throw a forehand in there. That's what I did at the beginning. I think it's a backhand turnover, but I think if we throw the forehand, that should be fine. Okay, that didn't hit anything. There's a chance that that got really lucky, because based on how far in that range got, there's definitely room that that's looking. Okay, so maybe that's how you like break this hole, is you just throw a forehand like really hard into the woods, because now that I'm in here, if you miss that like initial like line of trees, you're gonna hit something back here and leave yourself a long look. Yeah, that's really lame. Hole 5. Only 1 mulligan burn so far. We are looking at 175 feet. It's low ceiling going uphill into this little cove. So the ace run is like pretty tough, because you have to kind of like hyzer in for the ace run. We're gonna kind of just throw Precious Child and throw it on some hyzer in this main gap and see what we can do. Came up short. That's tough. We just got to bang a putt though. We got trees on the right side for me, left side of the screen for y'all. So I don't love my like uphill pop. So I think we're just gonna lean in and just do a nice staggered or straddle, high to low dad putt. Y'all, not as much hyzer or too much hyzer. I think that I was afraid of these trees. Not a great showing on one of the easier holes on the course. As you guys saw in the overstable mid video, I put a quake in the bag recently. Very excited about it, but the quakes that I was using were sort of domey quakes, and I wasn't too convinced that that was the right play. And so I went and grabbed an SP quake, which is a lot flatter, not as flashy. I did order one of the like Sullivan-Tipton ice swirl ones, which is the same run that he throws. So really excited to try that one out. That could be the winner, because it's uphill to the right, 245. Perfect in between a pig, zone, and my felon. Yeah, nice and low. Got a big flare skip. It's gonna be perfect. Hopefully I got out of the way fast enough, because that was zipping up there. So it turns out when you get a clean release on your quake and you don't have like a ripping right to left wind keeping you from skipping over in this direction, it's a lot easier to get close to the basket and have a look for birdie. Heart of the chains, baby. So here we are on hole 7. As you see, 375 feet, par 4. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of obstacle in the way, because in reality, there's not. Now, what's notable about this is that the trees on the left and the right, like basically the entire fairway, is depth. It's not that wide, and the trees extend tall, so you can't like flex it. You're going downhill at first, then you're going uphill. So it's not like it really plays that downhill. 375 feet. We're gonna try to just basically smash some forehands right at it. Let's see what we can do. We're gonna start with the Lumineers. This is a nice middle ground, and then we'll make some adjustments as we go. Nope. The other hard part about this hole is that we're gonna struggle to find some if we end up doing that again. I liked the system that someone proposed, which was on these longer holes, instead of having to hike down there, see if it works, and then hike all the way back. We throw it, and if we don't use it, we don't count the mulligan. Oh, we've been burning, charring renegons into the ground, dude. Okay, hole 8 is that way. Grabbing our putter. Here's what I've decided. I've decided that I can't make big decisions like how the mulligans count. I have to stick with the system that I've used until you guys vote yay or nay. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make the top comment. I'm gonna pin it. I'm gonna make the comment on long holes like this. Does every shot thrown count as a mulligan, whether I've used it or not? Or do I play them as I get to them, like in proper order, and I only count the mulligans if I've thrown it? Comment yes or no, or like yay or nay, and give you reasons if you want. So what that means is that for the sake of this video, we're counting Renegon as a mulligan. So we use 2 extra throws on that hole, which means that we're down to 4 mulligans, 2 holes left. This is probably the most difficult shot because you can't really get lucky on this one. Like hole 4, we got lucky because we blasted through all that stuff. Here, it's just raw skill, 300 feet, straight uphill, down a tunnel. Thinking we're gonna go backhand first, because the forehand, all the trees to miss are on the left side of the road up here. We'll give one, we'll see how the power backhand feels, just pumping a fairway up there, and then make a call if we fail here. Okay, that's a look. That's up there. I'm gonna throw a second one, just because I think if we throw that good, like if we throw that hard and we hit this good, we're going Stitch Trail. No, that one we released early. Do I burn the second one? We're gonna try to just smash Sharingan all the way up there. Oh, that's gotta get lucky. That needed to fade hard when it got up there, and I just don't know that it did. Sagara got hung up, but we pushed it. I'm gonna swap to putter numero dos. Go with my 167 gram one, because we can't really give this like a lot of height, because there's a tree there, like a branch. I'm not gonna move this either, because it did me a favor. I think I would have skipped pretty far downhill. Felt good, felt like I gave it pop. This hole's hard. I think we learned our correction. We pulled this a little bit. I think if we send this a little straighter, it's gonna have the drift when it gets up there. It got a pretty big flare at the end of its flight, but that's up there. Man, it's so easy to walk into a shot like that where you're like, oh, this is kind of do or die, and be like, man, hope I make it, hope it works. Just gotta breathe it out. One thing that I've always noticed in Missy Gana's routine, what I very much appreciate, is you guys notice the like deep breath, the exhale that she has before every throw? Really cool. I think it makes the body nice and relaxed, lets that air out. Just thought it was nifty. Okay, this mojo worked last time we had a big putt. Hole 9's that way. So let's just hit this and then head on out. We walk in to hole 9 with 1 to burn. 215 feet, precious child, ace run, right at it. Well, one of the world's worst ace runs, but it's under the bucket. This one would have been interesting because I was like, I kind of walked into this round thinking like, 7 is an aggressive number. I'm gonna have to play well, and I think we played the first half of the course really well. Lots of pars, other than that drive on 7. I was thinking about like, what would I have given away? Because I was having a conversation with one of my friends, because the quake, I mean, that quake would have been a cop-out. But I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and he was just like, I feel like since I've known you, and we've been playing together, that mid and fairway slot fluctuates for you so much. Like, you have some staples that have stayed in, like the Felons have stayed in for a while. But the Reactor was like the staple. The Justice is a staple. But I'm trying to find that consistency. I love the buzzes. I think the buzzes are super fun to throw. I love the bajillion buzzes that are out there. So don't forget, head to the comment. Let me know your thoughts on the mulligan system on the longer holes. And make sure you comment and give me your vote. That way we can keep this going. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Please make it fantastic for someone else too. If you find yourself in the Birmingham area, Joe Tucker, great, fun course. Very enjoyable. But for now, we're gonna leave you with Birdie.